Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. I have a rather rocky relationship with My Hero Academia, mostly because of when it first came out. I was getting out of high school, and let's face it, it's a shonen manga and anime first and foremost. A good one, but it wasn't exactly meant for me, and the series has some pacing issues at the start and creative choices, which were difficult to get me into the series or back into it as it went on. Except, in fact, I did get out of that chair eventually. I did keep coming back. Usually I would fall off in the middle of arcs and come back when the full sections were complete, basically every single time, up until the end, which I did not particularly enjoy at the time. Even did a full video about it, and you know what? I still stand by what I said. Before the later expansions and epilogues, that ending sucked.
But wait! There's more!
But to be fair, Horikoshi didn't leave it there. If there's one thing that I have to give this creator above all else, he cares a lot about his fans and he wants to make them happy. He expanded the ending in a multitude of different ways, explaining that Izuku managed to continue being a pro hero while teaching at UA. Not only that, Ochako and Izuku were made canon, giving people something at the end at the very least.
Finally!
Shippers gonna ship, shippers gonna spend money. Like I said in my dispatch video, give them what they want at the end, even if romance isn't your genre. And of course, have Izuku be a hero. That was literally the promise at the start of the series, that Izuku would face all of the odds to be a hero. Giving him an Iron Man suit was the least that they could do, and it was a smart move. And continuing with Horikoshi being grateful and good to his fans, he posts a lot of free art online. He likes drawing characters from this world from multiple different perspectives, and in a way, explaining why Izuku and Ochako took so damn long. There are many different images drawn in the perspective of Izuku taking pictures of people, and a lot of the way some of them were looking at him made a lot of people wonder if Izuku was experiencing My Harem Academia for a few years there.
This is quite a shock! On the other hand, it's not surprising in the least.
Nothing confirmed, of course, but it's a funny thought, though, that Izuku had plenty of situationships for a while there, until he eventually settled down with Ochako. A lot of time there with a lot of female friends and fans. I mean, probably not, actually, but considering the actual hammering that the character's rep took with the McDonald's memes, I think the absolute reversal of people's perceptions is pretty funny.
That's not funny. That's not...
And with the anime officially over, that's it. That's the end of Deku's story. He defied the odds, became a hero, fell in love, became the number 4 ranked hero, beating Katsuki in the process. Ha, take that. Yeah, I think that he pretty much won, and the series won with the extended epilogues. Not a lot of shonen out there that actually have good endings. Naruto just rolled over into Boruto, Bleach was rushed as all hell, One Piece is forever, Attack on Titan was pure trash, Fairy Tail sucked, Dragon Ball endings were never great, and even Demon Slayer has an epilogue that I don't like, even though the previous ending chapters before it were pretty good. Don't try to make it all happy after all that, I'm just saying.
This is worthless.
It's less than worthless, my boy.
So yeah, My Hero Academia, as of the year of our Lord 2025, might have the best overall expanded ending in the most popular of shonen series, so much so that people seem to be completely satisfied with it after over a decade of existence. And honestly, it was the perfect amount of time for a long-running series to go on. I love One Piece, but oh my god, is there so much. This 30 years plus nonsense has pushed everyone to the limit, including Oda.
Are you two still living?
The journey of My Hero Academia as a series will be one of its biggest legacies. It's a series that actually improves as it goes on. While the premise is amazing at the start, there are a few stumbles to say the least, like the fact that Deku wasn't even exercising at all before he met All Might. Look, I'm sorry, but if you want to go into one of the most dangerous professions in the world without superpowers in a world filled with superpowers, maybe you should go to the gym and take self-defense classes.
He's out of line, but he's right.
It's not a flawless start, to say the least, especially considering that Izuku, as a character, was smarter than he acted at the beginning of the series. The kid's literal greatest talent was breaking down quirks beat by beat. I understand being overwhelmed by the entrance exam, but this guy went through 2 full arcs without figuring out that he should use less strength by unleashing All for One's power through his entire body in a cloak. Even at the age of 15, I promise you that I would have thought of that earlier than Deku.
Are you crazy? Or just plain stupid?
Yes, I know that part of the point was that Izuku was trying too hard to be All Might compared to his own person and his own hero. I understand that plot, but come on, he had 2 months between the entrance exam and the start of school. Maybe help him out a bit in the meantime, All Might. See, that's what I mean by pacing issues. I get it, Horikoshi was in a competitive field, and he was not used to making a series meant to go on for so long. He had to keep the pace up, but he did not let anything breathe at the start of My Hero Academia.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. Lois, this is not my Batman glass.
But that was part of the journey. If there's one thing that you can say about My Hero Academia, it didn't exactly peak early. While I have many criticisms for the beginning, Horikoshi improved each week, not only with his art, but in his storytelling. And look, I love his art at the beginning, but I swear to you that the length of All Might's neck shifted from panel to panel. I was starting to think that it was extendable or something. You want to know what is one of my favorite personal chapters in the whole series? When all of the students move into the dorms and they check out each other's rooms. I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, he has faith now. He's willing to just put in a chapter fully dedicated to character interactions. It was fun and reminded us that we are watching teenagers with their own individual personalities.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Horikoshi began to understand how to write a large cast of characters a lot better. His pacing improved, his quirk development improved, his character development and introductions improved by leaps and bounds, just in time for him to actually make Tomura feel like an actual threat. Look, I liked where he eventually got, but there was no denying that he felt like a weak villain at the start. It took a long time before he did anything but annoy me in comparison to Stain, Gentle Criminal, or All for One.
And live!
Look, I get that was the point. The villains were supposed to grow with the heroes and become true rivals and threats, but my god, did it have to take that long? And it really just came in a giant jump instead of sprinkled throughout the series. If Horikoshi were to do over the entire story, I am sure that he would have tweaked some aspects of the pacing from the start. And that's the journey of him as an artist and a writer. And that's what makes My Hero Academia a series that improved as time went on.
Oh my god. I get it.
Well, I think the term mid-hero academia is pretty funny. It's probably done by people who dropped the series too early. There was never a point where I looked back and thought that the story had already jumped the shark too early. Something that I can't say for a lot of stories, whether they be manga, comics, books, games, television, or even movies. I just really didn't like that ending.
Well, this sucks.
But you know, even that was fixed, leading to the full journey through a world that was extremely interesting. The Japanese have fun, different takes on superheroes and superpowers, although the Avengers and the X-Men would probably have a civil war about the quirk registration and regulations. It's weird, what Americans think would be controversial is almost completely and universally accepted in Japan.
I'm gonna bust you up, Plum Thumb, and then I'm gonna wear your clothes.
That was weird.
Another legacy My Hero Academia leaves is its world. Despite having a world-altering event near the end there are still plenty of aspects to explore. What are the systems like in other countries, not just the US? I'd love to see how the EU or Africa or South America develops in this world where 80% of the population has superpowers. This might be the one time where a series ended where I would like to see more spin-offs like the Vigilante series.
Please, sir. I want some more.
Deku's story feels pretty finished, but the setting is ripe for more exploration. That was always the most interesting thing to me at the start of My Hero Academia. Western comics usually have powers be uncommon and exceptional. Only the special get to have them. But in this world, the exact opposite happens. Most people have powers, and not having them makes you the freak.
Hey everybody, it's the fit kid. Let's stuff him in the locker because he'll fit.
That particular plot point in the world building around quirklessness was my biggest disappointment about My Hero Academia, so much so that I've actually been writing a fanfiction for fun about the idea. While the quirkless desperately want quirks, and that is shown, their lives are kind of glossed over before they obtain their powers. It would be nice to see more character-driven short stories about the struggles of someone in this world just trying to live a normal life while facing discrimination for being powerless.
Well, hang on, you've just... No, I like it. This is brilliant. But I like this.
There are a lot more concepts from this world that I think Horikoshi could explore. Smaller scale stuff, like with vigilantes. Maybe even have the main cast make some cameos overseas or something. This would be a vast improvement than having Deku and Ochaku's son take over to fight an alien threat or something. I'm just saying, there's a lot of potential to use the setting for different types of stories.
Potential.
Got there in the end.
Unfortunately for you, it's a curse. Because there isn't a thing in the universe that goes more wasted than potential.
And while I don't particularly want to see Deku's story continue other than like flashes throughout his life, it's not because I hate the character. Another pull into the series was just how different Izuku was compared to the normal shonen protagonist. There's always a trend of loud, abrasive, overly confident protagonists. In fact, they might be more than a little dumb at times. Deku is the complete opposite of this, with a calmer, quieter, and more self-conscious demeanor. He lacks confidence at the start or any powers at all.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Part of my frustrations at the start was that I kind of assumed that Izuku, as the giant nerd, would put his big brain to use over brawn, that being the main conflict as he tries to master a quirk that was completely based around brawn. But Horikoshi did get better at this too, and Izuku grew into a protagonist that I loved. He had his ups and downs, but his growth in his relationships with his class, especially Katsuki, over the series was worth the stumbles. Katsuki was another character I didn't particularly like at the start. His bullying was kind of just dismissed near the beginning for a while. It took a while to be addressed, and his character development was rough at the start too, but I like how Horikoshi pulled it around at the end, just like he did with everyone, including the Todoroki family.
Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Endeavor, Dabi, and Shoto's entire storyline was absolutely perfect. I loved it from start to finish. If there was any part of My Hero Academia besides Gentle Criminal, who is the GOAT, I think will live on, it will be this. This was a redemption arc on the level of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is insane because there's a section of the fanbase who can't get over Endeavor's sins while saying that Tomura and Himiko deserve to live. I'm not saying that Endeavor did no wrong, but seriously, I know why they like Himiko so much.
I know what you are!
I think that every character got the ending that they deserved when it was all said and done. It was surprisingly perfect once the epilogue stuff came along. I still say that Izuku should have kept one for all, but whatever, that's just my personal taste. I take what I can get. He did it, and I think Izuku as a character will be one of My Hero Academia's biggest legacies.
I've only had Arlo for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
There are plenty of romance and harem anime where the main character is plain, lacks confidence, and is more on the emotional side. I'm going to be honest here. I like that in this action series, Deku cries. He might do it a bit too much, but it's nice to see emotions other than stoicism, anger, and stupid levels of joy on display.
First, let's get one thing straight. I'm not crying. I'm just sweating through my eyes.
This would be the point where the YouTube essay dork would say that Izuku breaks the trend of toxic masculinity, and I guess he kind of does, even though most of the characters actively make fun of crying all the time. But he's just a more emotional character, someone who wears his heart on his sleeve to a fault, but he could still kick someone through a mountain if he wanted to.
I'm gonna take this right foot, and I'm gonna whop you on that side of your face.
I think that My Hero Academia has opened the door for more emotional main characters, or at least male ones, who aren't loud and brash and defiant all the time. I could see Izuku inspiring new characters in ways that Goku did. Now, maybe not to that extent, but to a smaller extent. My Hero Academia isn't a perfect series, but it's one that will reach and influence a lot of different stories in the future. Like I said in my dispatch video, this series has proven that there are still places for superheroes and superpowers in modern day storytelling. People just want different takes on it at this point. And if Western comics took more inspiration from Japan at this point, especially writing and drawing female characters, I think that things would be a lot better. Especially because Rumi awakened almost as many people as She-Hulk did back in the day. Not judging, I too like women with some muscle on them.
I love the kind of woman that can kick my ass.
So I think that My Hero Academia's greatest legacy is going to be the influence it has on many different creations and stories to come, whether it be the setting, the character design, or the writing. But what do you think? Do you like My Hero Academia? Do you hate it? Did you have the same problems that I did? Do you think that I was overacting at the start? Please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, if you disagree with everything I have to say, that is perfectly fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Thank you all so much for watching.
You're still here?
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. You bye. Boom.
Do not despair.